don't we move? We'll move back up to item A, and I see Chief Revels has come, so we'll discuss the approval of memorandum of understanding with the Toma Police Department. Thank you for coming.
Good evening. I'm just moving over from your employee to the police chief now, so I just got done with basketball practice, so I apologize for my appearance. But
you don't have to apologize for wearing that.
Are you kidding?
Here.
Very good. I'd like to start off by saying thanks to Superintendent Zardi for listening to my concerns and then moving that on to the school's legal advisor and the legal advisor drawing up the memorandum of understanding. Just as a little bit of background in that, through the course of the enactment of the carry and concealed weapon legislation, the Department of Justice attorneys had to go back and explore the legislative intent in relationship to that legislation so that it could be successfully administered. Through the course of their analysis of the current legislation, they found what they believed to be a problem in that their interpretation is somewhat different than what the practice has been in regards to off-duty officers carrying concealed weapons on school property. That was brought to our attention through the course of training that they were providing. So they had made a recommendation to the law enforcement agencies that were there, even though they're going to attempt to fix this, what they consider to be a problem through the state legislature, that they recommended that we do something with our respective school districts, school boards, to fix this issue temporarily. Hence my discussions with Superintendent Zardi and the drawing up the memorandum of understanding to allow us as off-duty police officers, which we have been doing ever since I can remember, or ever since I've been a police officer, is that when there were sporting events and we were attending those sporting events as community members, parents, those capacities, we've always carried concealed weapons. There are times when we might have 3-4 officers there watching a sporting event that might be carrying a concealed weapon, and as I said, that's always been our practice. We have policy in place that provides for guidance for the department members in regards to carrying weapons while off duty, but it's always been permissible as long as they follow the guidelines. So we've never had issue, never had a problem, but yet when I think about this, and this is one of our points of discussion, was that we have some extra law enforcement officers there that are able to help out if in fact there was a crisis situation, or if in fact one of our officers that are on duty responded to a situation, that we would be there to assist them.
And I do want to thank Mrs. Zardi too for running this past our legal authorities, and they did draw this up. I know the city has taken steps for concealed carry is also permitted in that regard.
I think what Chief Revels is referring to is there's specific rules on public school property that the way the rule changed would have affected our officers that were there. They could have been guilty of violating that rule.
Correct.
Right.
We
Correct.
can memorandum that to make that a non-issue until it can be fixed.
Absolutely. And certainly there are law enforcement agencies that are simply just have decided not to do anything with it because, quite frankly, in our judgment, that wouldn't be prosecuted anyway. Okay, but yet I don't want to have to put our employees potentially in peril. Have they chose to follow our off-duty weapons policy.
Would this memorandum as written, would this piggyback onto any memorandums that you currently have with, say, county or other agencies that would allow them to as well follow whatever their department guidance is? So if they normally would carry their weapon, would they, under this, if they're in your jurisdiction allows it, can they then, or do we need to be looking at creating memorandums with county and other agencies that may potentially have persons there? Or would you recommend us not doing that?
A good point. I'm busy enough administering our law enforcement agency, so those other law enforcement administrators, I would suspect they are either thinking about it or have made a decision not to do it, or maybe it's something that they will approach you. But it certainly is and will be a point of discussion, has been in the past with our administrative meetings that we have locally. Once this is done. And if you approve this, then this will be the first step in this. I will take it to our city attorney's office, make certain that it's squared away there, and then we can get signatures to it and then move forward. But yes, this will be just the City of Toma law enforcement officers at this point.
And I think that's how it is written. It explicitly says employed by the city, which then above says City of Toma.
That's correct. That's correct. I don't have any managerial or authority over any jurisdiction other than the City of Toma.
I guess my question, I probably asked it in the inverse way. What I meant more specifically was, is there a hesitation on your part, should we be approached by another agency to allow their officers, sworn officers to, so for instance, if the county said, hey, because we have county areas as well, but if they were also at a city event, would you prefer that we not extend that privilege, or do you have a feeling?
No, I do have a feeling, and I would have no objection to that. I think it actually would be a good thing to do.
Okay.
And according to this remains in effect until it's terminated by either party, or certainly individually if
That's
an
correct.
officer isn't working for the city anymore, then of course they can't
Yes,
keep
absolutely.
the carry. If the law changes, then we would still have to go through and terminate this, or it may become just ineffective.
Certainly if they pass legislation that addresses this issue, would make this null and void, but
Not necessary.
certainly not something that we would rely on.
Good, okay.
And just to follow up, Chief, one paragraph, or paragraph 2, it says only law enforcement officers employed by the city who are, it has in quotes, peace officers as defined by statute. I didn't look at the statute, but is it pretty clear to you, at your understanding, peace officers would only be the City of Toma police officers? I mean, is there any concern that we should have that could be defined to include, I don't know if the city has security, just general security officers?
We do not have. All of our sworn personnel are full-time members of the police department.
And so just to be clear, when it has peace officers there in quotes, it would be your understanding that it's purely the officers of the City of Toma Police Department?
That's correct.
Do you want a motion? So move to approve this to go ahead?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second then to approve the memorandum of understanding with the Toma Police Department that has been brought forward. Any further discussion?
I do see one typo where we've got 2 number 3, so we'll
Yes.
get that cleaned up before
Okay.
we get it signed.
Anything else? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, Chief.
Thank you,
Very
and
much.
thank you for your work.
Well, we appreciate you bringing this to our attention also, so thank you.